Alright everyone, so our last video ended prematurely because I forgot that if I push F9, which is the shortcut to open an actions window, it is also the shortcut to end the video, and my video ended as soon as I tried to open actions. So that's okay. I think the part 2 could have been about focusing on creating the button, and then part 3 will be focusing on assigning actions to our button. Alright, so now we can assign actions to this, as I said earlier. We can tell it to do stuff for us. So, but before we do that, let's set things up. The first thing is that we're going to create another layer. I'm going to call this layer labels. The purpose of this layer is so that we can actually create labels and have the button take us there. So what that means is I can say, okay, over here is called, Goo Goo Gaga. And I can say, okay, when the person clicks on this button or hovers over this button, go to Goo Goo Gaga, and it'll go here. The alternative would be to say, go to and play frame 2, which is here. But what if later in the project I move these things somewhere else? Then it would just play frame 2, and then things would it's going to be hard to keep track of all of your code that way. You're going to change things around, especially for a project that's going to have multiple buttons. It's better to label things. The other thing is you do not have to make a layer called label. You can label things anywhere you want. I can label them here if I wanted to, as long as I create a keyframe. But you're better off creating a layer separately from everything else and doing your labeling on that layer. So I'm going to right click here, insert a keyframe. It could be blank keyframe. It doesn't matter because there's nothing on this layer yet, so you can do either one. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to label this. So we're going to go over here to where it says label, and we're going to type in menu down. There we go. And that's going to make where we want the menu to go down from. And you'll see it has a little flag there now. So that's the label for that part. The other thing is I'm going to go ahead and go back to I'm going to click on my button here. I'm going to go ahead and open my actions window and type in on roll over. Oops, one V there. On roll over. Open curly bracket, close curly bracket. Go to and play in quotation marks menu down. It is case sensitive. So let's give it a shot. Let's see how it works. I'm going to push Control Enter. There it goes. It comes down. But then it disappears. Why does that happen? Well, here's what's happening. When the movie starts, I have a stop action here. So it just waits there. Then when I hover over this, it says when the person hovers over this, go to and play menu down. So then it goes to menu down. And it plays it all the way through, and then it loops back to the beginning. At the beginning, there's a stop. So that's what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blank keyframe here for my actions frame. And over here, I'm going to open up my actions window and type in stop. Now if we run our code, it should just stay there. Very nice. All right. Okay, so that's part 3. It was very short, but I kind of had to separate part 2 into 3 sections. So hopefully that will help you out on this first part of the project.